Hi everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, I basically just want to go through essentially the bestseller sourcing method and why it is pretty much flawed, okay? Because a lot of people that I talk to utilize this method to find products, okay, whereby they go through Amazon bestsellers and they go from there. First of all, I want to break down the whole ideology of why it's flawed. Because let's say you go through these Amazon bestsellers, right? How are you going to find wholesalers for this stock? Very simple. You're going to type in, for example, Nature Spell Wholesale UK. Like for that's a private label listing, you can just tell. But like let's say it wasn't and it was a wholesale listing. You can type in Nature Spell Wholesale UK. Okay, you've got to understand if you do that, that's so low barrier to entry. Your suppliers are so easily accessible. Anyone who started Amazon yesterday can do that. So therefore, I don't care if you type in like Nature Spell Wholesale, for example, and a wholesaler comes up and it's profitable. I promise you, okay, first of all, you're lucky to even see if that's profitable. Okay. Second of all, right, I promise you, even if it is profitable and you buy that stock within a month, within 2 months, it's going to tank. Just because you are going to have so many Amazon sellers who are going to, let's say, see this listing on the second page of bestsellers or see it on your storefront and be like, hang on a second, that looks like a good listing. Let's just type in wholesale after Nature Spell and get access to this supplier and pricing and product. And that listing is going to tank. Okay, so that's the whole fundamentals behind that, right? But I just want to show you and put it in practice as to why this is flawed. Okay, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that 99% of these listings are private label or just stupidly low priced. That's why they're selling so well, because they're stupidly low priced. Okay, lower than you're seeing in your retailers. But yeah, let me just go through and show you how people would storefronts, do the bestseller method. And essentially why it ain't gonna work. Or why it's very, very, yeah, you'll see. Like for example, private label, private label. Now you might be thinking, how can I tell these are private label? I can tell you now there is no wholesale listing on the planet whereby you're going to have some oil drops in the background and rosemary there, like edited on the image. First of all, it's too much of a fancy image. We can see there's a store, so it's from Ronin Brand Registry, go down. We can see A plus content. All this stuff is telling us it's, well, obviously it's private label listing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Nature Spell, all these little things. Right, so let's go through. Let's see, like, Olaplex. This is a brand which you may stock. Okay, Amazon's all over that, so that is not going to work. Again, that's selling so well because it's priced stupidly well. Shall we check that? We can do if you want. We can do a little copy. So that's priced at 21 quid there. And there we go. 19 quid with delivery included. Again, that's not going to be the quality of Prime. Again, so we've got literally free delivery with Prime, same day or next day there. So that just shows you why people buy so much stuff on Amazon because it's just so convenient. Again, Nature Spell, Nature Spell. This is going to have Amazon on it. There you go. No one's selling them for $3.99. Again, private label, private label, private label again. So this is what happens when people try to do, well, go through these bestsellers. Right, let's look at that. That listing looks a bit more sensible. Okay, surprise, surprise. So Amazon. So what we need to do is, well, what you need to do, because I don't do this, is understand that this is very, very flawed. Again, I can keep doing this. And the thing is, I will help people, and they're like, oh, I'm putting hours in, H, you're putting hours and hours in every day. When we go through what they're actually doing, they're doing this. I'm like, okay, first of all, this ain't gonna work. Second of all, even if you do find something doing this, it's gonna tank. Okay, so this is why I said I think it's very, very important that your attention, your energy, your focus is put in the right areas. Because imagine you're doing hours and hours of sourcing in the right areas. Okay, that is exactly what I will show you in my program, and that is why the people that do my program when they put the work in, they hit the results they want, because I'm literally showing you the actions to take that will generate you whatever you want out of the business. This stuff, it's like you're aimlessly putting work in. Would you rather not put in work into activities that will literally directly generate you revenue and cash? If you want to see if you're a good fit for the program, link in the description. Okay. And if you're hesitant about booking a call in, Amazon wholesale, it's not for you. Or business in general, you got to be an action taker. Right. So let me carry on again. We have all these listings, which you're not going to be able to sell on. Let's have a look through. Okay, this is Amazon listing. Let's have a look. There we go. So yeah, you will realize this, okay? That like you're not even gonna find many wholesale listings here. So I think Amazon dominated, which is well, essentially, like I said, it's a bestseller because it's selling a lot. Either A, because the product's good quality, or B, it's stupidly priced. 9 times out of 10, the stupidly priced listings, which are really, really low, sold by Amazon. So again, we have here Purple Pantry Foods. What I would do here is I'd go in and let's have a look. £8.69. So I would go in. Obviously, this is not a Prime account, so I'll go in and see what. To be fair, Purple Pantry Foods comes on FBA as well at 6.49. Also, they are currently at 6.49 FBA. Something I would look at is I would check if this listing is enrolled in. Yes, it is. So yeah, I'll stay away from this listing. Or what you could do is check who actually owns this listing. Is this? Let's have a look. You could, if you want to, contact these guys directly if you wanted to. Like, let's have a look. Purple Pantry Foods. Okay, so like you've seen, this food comes directly from India, Purple Pantry Foods. This is a food. This is a coconut oil. Is it for cooking? I believe so. I mean, you can use it for whatever you want. I believe it was in the hair oil section anyway. Well, skin and hair care. So what straight away, my opinions on this listing are we know there's some element of control there because it's brand registered. So what I would do is I would find out who is responsible for the control of these Amazon listings and essentially see, well, it's highly likely you'd be able to obtain any sort of exclusivity on this because it's already rolling brand registry. Someone's already got control of it. But there's no harm in asking the question and trying to find out. Okay. Just to try and make something out of this method. Okay. It's a very optimistic approach whereby we're even trying to think someone would entertain a question of exclusivity when this listing is already somewhat controlled. However, like I've said, you've got to take what you can get when you're trying to do this method, which ain't going to work. Okay. So that ain't even success doing this method. That's just a case of, oh, we've seen a listing which is enrolled in brand registry, which to some degree, whoever's enrolled in brand registry clearly wants some element of control. However, there are multiple sellers on the listing. So personally, I would dig deeper and find out. But again, like I said, that's me being very optimistic. I like if that makes sense. But like I said, a lot of these listings are stupidly low price. You're not going to be able to find anything. And even if you do, the way you acquire that stock is going to leave you essentially having a listing which is going to tank anyway. So with that being said, hopefully that has showed you why just doing this aimlessly, like for example, doing this aimlessly, it's gonna leave you in a situation whereby you are chasing down, how can I say it, products, avenues whereby you know there's no sustainability there. The example I've just come across with that brand, that's literally a case of let's see if we can make something out of nothing, basically. Okay. So again, I can keep going through. And you've got to understand as well, like your stock or your portfolio does not need to be made up of bestsellers in order for you to be making 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month in profit. It does not need to be. Wholesale is a volume game whereby we're spreading our SKU count, spreading our async count as wide as possible, and we're spreading our risk. You don't need one, or it's not all about having one big hitter that's making you all your profits. No, you're going to set yourself up for failure doing that. It's about spreading your SKU count, having a wide variety of SKUs in your portfolio. Again, reinforcing why going for Amazon bestsellers is not the best thing to do. Pun not intended. Okay, so hopefully that cleared up why going through your bestsellers and whatnot is very inefficient. And essentially will set you up for failure. I hope, yeah, you enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you want any help with your wholesale sourcing, whereby I can literally show you how to find products and wholesalers and brands other people simply will not be able to find, simply will not be able to access, open accounts with, develop relationships with, negotiate with, I'll show you everything. Okay. If you want to see if you're a good fit for my program, because obviously it's an application process, because with the information I give you, I want to make sure it's going to the right sorts of people. Right. If you want to apply, link in the description, see if you're a good fit for the program. If you like the video, like the video. Subscribe if you are new. Any video suggestions you want to see, leave them down below in the comments. And I'll catch everyone here in the next video.